There was one room in his mansion no one entered. She broke in. What she found could free everyone or destroy her. Chief Obi was a man people talked about in hushed tones, one known for strange things, whose wealth and power were well known in the village of Umuza. His mansion was alive in silence. Shadows clung to every wall, the air thick with power and anticipation. Those he had taken moved as he willed, their eyes burning with desire, their bodies bent perfectly to his commands. They were not afraid, there was no fear in them. Only an unexplainable pull, a burning need to be near him, to obey him, to serve him endlessly. This was how Chief Obi worked. When he saw someone extraordinary, a strong man, a beautiful girl, someone whose presence stirred his blood, he would retreat to his dark room, hidden deep in the mansion. There, in the black silence, he would call their name softly, almost like a whisper threading into their soul. The next time that person looked at a mirror, their reflection would swap. The real self would become trapped, lost inside the glass, while the reflection stepped into reality, filled with a desire to be with him, to serve him, to obey, with no hesitation or question. And once taken, no child, no servant, no reflection ever returned home. Families would weep, fathers and mothers pleading, yet it was always in vain. Other than this pull, something else was strange about Chief Obi's mansion. There were no mirrors, and the people he captured forgot about mirrors entirely. They did not use them. They had no need for them. All they were consumed with was pleasing Chief Obi. It was on a morning like any other that Chief Obi saw Adama helping her mother in the courtyard, her movements graceful, her face radiant with beauty and care. He observed silently, the corner of his mouth curving into a faint smile. Later that evening, he slipped into his dark room, whispered her name softly into the shadows, and returned to the mansion as if nothing had happened. The next morning, Adama went about her usual routine. She gazed into her mirror, brushing her hair, smoothing her dress, and in that moment, the swap occurred. Her reflection stepped into reality, alive and fully devoted to Chief Obi, while her real self became trapped inside the mirror, powerless but aware, faintly whispering to the new Adama, who now obeyed without question. Adama's heart pounded as she felt the pull, a burning need she could not resist. That morning she turned to her mother, her voice trembling yet insistent. "Mother, I must marry Chief Obi. I cannot stay away. Please, mother, let it be so." Her mother sank to her knees, tears streaming down her face. She had seen this before, seen daughters and sons pulled by the same irresistible desire, leaving families broken, leaving homes abandoned. "Adama, my daughter, I have seen this before. Please do not go. You cannot do this to me," she cried. But Adama's heart was fixed. She refused to eat. She refused to talk about anything else aside from Chief Obi. She spoke of wanting to hold him, said there was no man perfect in this world for her, that she would die if they did not take her to him. And so Chief Obi was called, and yes, he agreed to marry her. With a heavy heart, her mother prepared Adama's belongings. Every fold of clothing was perfect, every item packed with care. Among them, secretly, she placed Adama's cherished mirror. A mirror Adama had loved, one she sat with for hours, tending to her hair and beauty, hoping that when she got there, she would have something that could still bring her comfort. Chief Obi arrived soon after, paying her bride price with cold precision, taking possession of what he wanted. Adama entered the mansion, following the rhythm of obedience that all who had been taken knew too well. She moved silently among the others, their eyes shallow yet glowing with the same unyielding desire. Adama was led to her room the moment she arrived at Chief Obi's mansion. The room was quiet, too quiet. No mirror hung on the walls, like every other room in the mansion. Bare walls, bare air, bare silence. She knelt and opened her bag. Clothes first, beads next. Then her fingers touched something cold. The mirror. The moment Adama lifted it, the desire loosened its grip. Her breathing changed. Her eyes sharpened. And from within the glass, a voice spoke, not aloud, but straight into her bones. "You are not the one standing there." Adama froze. "You were taken. You were swapped. I am you, trapped." Her heart slammed against her ribs. The pull toward Chief Obi cracked, not fully broken, but weakened, enough for truth to slip through. Her true self told her everything. How they swapped when she looked into the mirror. How the reflection stepped out. And how the real self was sealed inside glass. How she could now speak with her through a mirror. That is why there are no mirrors here, Adama whispered. If we see ourselves again, we begin to remember. Adama's knees weakened. She remembered her mother's tears, the way she begged her not to go, the way children who left never returned, the way her own mouth had pleaded for marriage while her soul screamed silently behind glass. But knowing was not enough. There has to be a way, but I know it will be dangerous. That night, Adama did exactly what the others did. She obeyed. She lowered her eyes. She moved when commanded. She spoke only when spoken to. Her desire returned, forced, artificial, and she wore it like a mask. Chief Obi watched her closely. His greedy eyes lingered. Satisfied. Days later, when Chief Obi left the mansion, Adama moved. She went to the room no one was allowed to enter, the dark room, hoping to get some answers. Inside was darkness so thick it felt alive. At the center of the room, glowing faintly, lay a book. The Reflection Curse. The pages were old, breathing. Written in a language that did not need reading, it entered the mind directly. She learned the truth. The curse was bound to one rule. The one who commands reflections must never see his own. If he did, the power would turn inward. The mirrors would return what was stolen. The reflections would remember. Chief Obi would fall. Adama closed the book. She knew her moment was coming. The night he chose her, the mansion felt heavier. He told her the date calmly. The night she would finally be on his bed. Adama prepared quietly. She hid the mirror inside her robe, wrapped in cloth. She practiced lowering her eyes. She practiced trembling desire. When Chief Obi entered her room, his presence bent the air. He reached for her. And in one smooth motion, Adama raised the mirror. "Look," she said. For the first time in his life, Chief Obi saw himself. The scream that followed shattered the mansion. The walls shook. The dark room collapsed into nothing. His body twisted inward, swallowed by his own reflection. Silence. Adama dropped the mirror. Inside it, the trapped self was gone. She was whole. All over the mansion, people froze. Then they remembered. Names, mothers, homes. Cries filled the night as they ran, barefoot, sobbing, back to families they thought they had lost forever. By morning, Chief Obi's mansion was empty, burned to the ground. Adama returned home. Her mother saw her from afar and collapsed, wailing. They held each other for a long time. No words were needed. The village healed, but stories travel. And sometimes strangers whisper of a faraway town, of a blind man surrounded by people with burning devotion. And no mirrors anywhere near him.